believe what you say! Oh, wait, what? Okay. Well, that happened. Seriously, what the fuck?
Okay. Well, it looks like we finally got onto the air, but oh wow. Yeah, I've been trying since 10 o'clock this morning to get on the air, and YouTube finally let me do it. Oh man, you seriously do not know how happy I am to finally be on the air, because that was just something that should not have been happening. Oh. Like, I really don't know how to explain what's been going on over the course of the last 40 minutes, other than the fact that it really, really made me lose my mind. Because, yeah, I really wanted to be on the air straight away. Yeah, it looks like we're finally ready to go. Yeah, pay no attention to the chocobo that's just chilling out on the left there, but... finally, at least we can begin. So, apologies for getting started so late, but... yeah, YouTube having a thing, and it was not fun. But at least we can finally begin. So, as we stand here in Mordona on a very gloomy day, there's something that is shining through the purple sky. And that would be the Crystal Tower, a place we've been asked to go to because we need to go there for purposes of saving the Scions once again, like we had to back in Heaven's Ward. But this time, we're doing it with a brand new Warrior of Light. With Corinne's task finished and a new expansion started, it's time to pass on the torch once again. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great honor and privilege to introduce you to our new Warrior of Light, hailing all the way from Doma, Shinji Okuri. And he will be taking on the brand new adventure of Shadowbringers. So hey there, Elizabeth, and to everyone else that's just logging on, we're glad to have you with us here today. So, greetings, people of the world. Matthew back with you here at Novaura Autism for the start of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers live. To begin our journey, we have to start by going to pay visits to a place we know all too well, the Rising Stones. So let's be on our way, because we are patiently awaiting word on an expedition currently being led by Garland Ironworks to try and figure out how we might possibly be able to save the Scions from a plight that has been brought onto them for some time now. During Stormblood, we've been experiencing crazy hallucinations in our mind, but these hallucinations have had a secondary effect, in that it's knocked out our fellow Scions one by one. In fact, the only Scions we have left to have our backs are Tataru and Kryl. The two female Lalafels are the only two who are left. So we are now waiting word that hopefully Tataru can give us good news that we can figure out how we can be able to overcome what we've been forced to endure, and how we might be able to bring the Scions back to where they belong. So let's go ahead and speak with Tataru to take on the level 70 main story quest entitled The Circus Trench. Tataru is itching to share what appears to be good news. Good news, Shinji. We've had a stroke of luck in our search for that beacon. Do tell. Apparently, our colleagues have stumbled across a hidden path leading down into around the hollows around the base of the Crystal Tower. Well, that's good to know. A path I doubt we've ever had the Ironworks and the Suns not added their numbers to the party. Thanks to them, we have eager eyes aplenty down there, checking under rocks and peering into every nook and cranny. Still, it sounds like there's a lot of ground to cover. Yeah, what we say? We better go give them a hand. Or it sounds like tedious work, but not as tedious as waiting around, I suppose. And yeah, you'll notice the options for doing text now appears at the bottom of the screen by and large. So, we better go and give them a hand. My thoughts exactly. The sooner we find this beacon, the sooner you can travel to wherever it is this mysterious voice is coming from. And the sooner we can work out how to help out our friends. We have to find a way to wake them up, and before the Empire comes calling again, meaning we have no time to lose. Yeah, we better get to it. There's a boat in North Silvertier waiting to ferry people to the site, so let's be on our way. And so, away we shall go. The first quest for the new Warrior of Light begins. So let's make our way back out into Remnant's Toll and prepare to go and find out what's going on. Because yeah, we've had to... The source of the science getting taken away from us and us being forced to go to wherever it is we're going is this guy with a creepy hood. Yeah, he's not from Assassin's Creed, although the way he's been taking our science away, he might as well be from Assassin's Creed. Also, did anyone notice that the word north had it changed to lowercase in the end? Yeah, that's kind of weird. But yeah, weird does not even begin to describe everything that we've had to go through over the course of the last 2 patches in Stormblood. And we decided that Corinne has already done more than enough liberating not 1 but 2 nations. So, it's time to pass on her powers to someone else, and that's why Shinji is here. Let's speak with the St. Koenig ferryman. And in the survey site, sir, it's on the eastern shore of the lake, and the swiftest way is to get out by boat. So let's make our way over there right now. So yeah, we have some very interesting music, and also Hori Boulder and Coltonay have also come to join us from over at the Rising Stones. Hey, Satoru. Yeah, let's check the place out. Yeah, quite an interesting temple we found down here. As Hori Boulder and Coltonay and the members of the Garland Ironworks try and figure it all out.
Look how many people there are!
Hey, anything to save the heroes!
Pick up anything that seems the least bit device-like, and we'll make ourselves a pile.
Device-like.
Well, if it isn't the hero of the hour, maybe you'll change our look. We've found bugger all without you.
Hey there, Biggs. Oh, and there's Wedge.
Wedge!
Yeah, Wedge starts the thing for Tataru.
Aye, aye. Well, we could hardly say no to a call for aid from the Scions.
Well, we appreciate that.
Jesse called it the chief of some other business, so we'll be working twice as hard to make up for his not being here.
Thrice as hard, even.
I like Wedge's new voice.
Both of you. I'm sure we'll find that beacon in no time.
I hope so, too. So let's continue on looking.
I'm not seeing anything out here. Do you reckon you could squeeze in there, Wedge?
And get stuck halfway? No, thank you.
Well, at least Biggs is strong enough to pull you out.
I could try if you like.
Tataru, no!
Yeah, it seems like
couldn't
Tataru's
ask you to do
always
that.
getting herself
I'll
in
be
trouble when she goes on
fine.
one of her
This
adventures.
receptionist is not afraid
Yeah, let's
to
see
get
what
her
Shinji can
hands
locate.
dirty.
And then, it looks like something has actually caught our attention. What have we found?
Sorry, I meant to say, the scholars haven't finished their preliminary assessment of the site yet, so we're not supposed to venture too far in.
Well, it did seem to have the Garland Ironworks logo on it.
What's that you got there? Now
Well?
that looks promising.
I hope you're right.
Isn't that the Ironworks symbol? Counterfeiters?
Hopefully not. But then,
Now I have you.
yeah,
You all
remember
right?
this guy from Stormblood?
What's happening?
Now he's got his grasp on Shinji, too.
Stay with me. Focus on my voice. Let expanse contract. Eon, become instant.
Wait, this must be it. The device. Oh, this is supposed to happen.
Throw wide the gates that we may pass.
Oh, safe journey, warrior of light. Find our friends and bring them home.
I'll do what I can. Yeah, the guy who messed with Corinne's mind and the Scion's mind now has Shinji. And so now we're gonna get whisked away to somewhere that is far from Eorzea and anywhere else we've been to before. Yeah, we're amidst the stars. Yeah, trying to get a bearing of where we are. But now it's time for us to go forward. And we're seeing a whole bunch of crystal shards coming our way. Each of them containing the memory of a voice that we've heard in the past.
Oh, do not look at me so.
Including, yeah, Portiafon, who Mathia encountered.
You cannot. Away with you. Spirited accounts always come. We did everything right.
Yeah.
Everything that was asked of us, and still it came to this.
Yeah, even the Warrior of Darkness, who Mathia also encountered. Yeah, all told, it's been a full collection of the people who we've seen in the past through the previous Warriors of Light. Hey Adam, welcome to the stream, glad to have you with us. Yeah, and then above a waterfall.
Your time has not yet come.
Yeah, someone named the Oracle of Light is trying to get our attention. Yeah, who is this young lady? Well, after our journey concludes and the dust settles, yeah, we find ourselves among some ruins. And standing in the middle is this ominous black cloud. With footsteps, and feet, and legs, walking, trying to get somewhere. But to where, who knows? Hi Chaz, welcome to the stream, glad to have you with us. Yeah, as this specter looks to the skies. There's Shinji. Yeah, come around, young man. You were willing to be brave to take the torch from Corinne. But now you have to accept her burden. So yeah, this almost looks like a dream. The grass and the plants here are purple, not green. Yeah, it's almost like we're in a dream sequence here. So we gotta look around.
Endless dreams I awake.
Yeah, trying to get our bearings.
Vague, yet urgent, calls me to action once more.
Yeah, is there any sign of life? Is there anyone around? Well, actually there is. We found a chocobo, so that's promising. And as well as a campfire. Yeah, let's see who runs the campfire. Yeah, hello there, sir. And yeah, He looks like one of the peddlers you
Rare
meet when
to
you
meet
start
someone
14.
out here is not a peddler themselves. What brings you into the wilds this time of night?
Yeah. Night? Yeah. What are you talking about? Are you sure? Yeah. What do you mean this time of night? Yeah. But it's as bright as day.
Well, if it ain't the oldest joke in the book. Me grandad, God's rest his soul, used to tell that one to the barman at kicking out time.
Like, what the heck?
And when, pray tell, did we last have a dark night? You rotten old drunk, you, he'd reply.
Yeah, let's try and chill out with this guy and see what he's getting on about.
Over 100 bleeding years ago, that's when.
100 years? Yeah, the look of shock on Shinji's face pretty much says it all. Not to mention the foliage.
You got that look down to a T. I'd almost think you meant it.
Because he did.
Ah, got to you, did they? Poor beggar. That explains it then.
No thanks, I don't drink. Yeah, besides, Shinji drinks sake, he's from Doma.
Well, I've roads to travel and wares to sell, but you best hurry along to the town nearby.
Yeah. Can I hitch a ride with you?
Just head
and your
east
Choco?
through the trees and aim for the Shining Tower. You'll find the place soon enough. 'Tis the biggest settlement for malms around.
Actually, if it was Heaven's Word, it would be snowing.
Go on now, friend. They'll take good care of you in the Crystarium.
Yeah, if it was Heaven's Word, there'll be snow all over. And hey Lou, welcome to the stream, glad to have you with us. Yeah, sorry I can't be with you there just yet. Yeah, that's gonna take a while for me, playing on this guy. Playing as the new Warrior of Light. So now that we've met our first person...
To dizzying heights it rises. The gleaming spire. Its tip threatening to pierce the blinding canopy.
And it looks just like the Crystal Tower.
There, it will all begin anew. Between dark and light. The pure and the corrupt. The one true struggle.
And thus, we get to see the intro to Shadowbringers and what it will entail. Alright, so away we go. Well, I know that there, Lou, but as the way the game is set up, it pretty much is. So yeah, you may be wondering, if we found someone, where are the enemies? Well, thankfully, no enemies yet. They will come, but not just yet. So down this creepy purple path we will be walking. And over here we find a fortification. The Extensor Gates will be our next stop.
Halt!
Oh, who goes there? It would be a Vieira. Yeah, we got to meet Fran back in Stormblood. And she was a Vieira too.
Every face in this city I know. Yours, I do not.
Yeah, you sound like the Wood Whalers back in Gridania.
This is the threshold of the Crystarium, stranger, and I am its gatekeeper. If you would enter, you will answer my questions.
Okay, ask away.
From where do you hail?
Where do we hail? Yeah. From Gridania, from the source, or say nothing. Well, this is inaccurate. Gridania is inaccurate for Shinji because he's from Doma. We can tell him the source. Because that's actually part of Gridania.
What is this cryptic nonsense?
Or rather, Gridania is a part of it.
Had you given me an honest answer, I would not have barred your way. We care little here for a person's place of origin. But instead, you chose concealment. And I will not suffer you to pass.
Wow. I don't have to... Yeah, I don't have to take arms against you. But, yeah. Apparently she was going after something else. Should I be grateful that you saved me? Or pissed off because you won't let me in town?
That one had eaten. It must have gulped down the whole hand. Ring and all.
Yeah, what do you mean? As we look at this ring... Yeah, it was on the merchant's hand. Which means, yeah, it didn't end well for him. And who is this coming our way?
Everything all right, Captain?
Yeah, it's the guy with the hood from the end of Stormblood.
Quite all right, my lord. Just a stray sin-eater, and a weak one at that.
Hey, Isabel, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you with us.
Weak or not, we should be on the lookout for more.
Yeah, here he goes by the title of Crystal Exarch. Yeah, we know who you are.
But I see you've met my guest. I will escort him to the Crystarium myself, if you've no objections.
Another of your mysterious friends, is it? I should have known.
Oh, you've experienced this before.
Very well. I'll inform the others your guest is to be given the run of the city.
Yeah. Thank you.
Pray forgive my less than cordial welcome. May the rest of your stay with us be a pleasant one.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But as for you...
Come with me. I will answer whatever questions you have when we are somewhere more private.
Oh, I'm sure you will. Yeah, because you still have a lot of explaining to do. A lot of explaining to do. Well, what are you waiting for? Out with it.
Right then. Before we plunge into the wheres and wherefores, let me first thank you for answering my summons.
You didn't give us a choice!
I had intended to bring you directly to my personal quarters, but I fear my aim was slightly off. That you were still able to make the crossing unharmed is a great relief. And so, we come to the question of where.
Uh-huh.
The realm in which you now find yourself belongs to one of the 13 reflections, or shards. The first, to be precise, even if its inhabitants are largely oblivious to the fact. As to wherefore, having been awarded the rather grandiose title of Crystal Exarch, I, in my capacity as caretaker of the Crystarium, thought to seek the aid of you and your companions.
By the methods you've been implementing? Couldn't you just come to us and say, hey, I need your help, come over here? Yeah, instead you had to do it in a really creepy way. Yeah. Are the other signs here, or do you have any idea how much trouble you've caused?
An inkling, yes. I can only beg your forgiveness. Matters here forced my hand, but all shall be explained in due course, I promise you. Let us begin with the glaring skies up above.
Yeah, kind of hard not to notice them.
Here in the first, the world has been all but consumed by primordial light. It began a century ago, by this realm's reckoning. A luminous flood swallowing everything in its path. More than 9/10 of this star was lost.
That's a lot. And I mean a lot.
And the fortunate few who survived are hounded by abominations born of that catastrophe even now. Sin Eaters, we call them. The creature you saw earlier was one such monstrosity.
Yeah, and he killed off the poor merchant.
It was to save the First from this menace that I learned to bridge the rift between worlds. That I might call upon the aid of the greatest of heroes.
Well, it's not like you did the best job of that.
Depriving a world of its champion, I had to try. For in saving the First, you would bring salvation to the Source as well.
What do you mean? Yeah, we don't seem convinced.
But what manner of host harangues his guests in the middle of the road?
Yeah.
Let us continue our talk within the Crystarium.
Yeah, that's where we gotta go. And we gotta follow this guy. Yeah, he's still treading on thin ice, by the way. So it's time for us to check this place out and see what's going on in here. Eventually, because, yeah, of course, since it's day one, it's going to be very busy. And thus we've arrived. Yeah, also your hand is really creepy.
Such a proud and vibrant city. The sole sanctuary for the living in a world all but resigned to oblivion. Each stone was laid with hope. The town itself a symbol. A monument to defiance in the face of death. No would-be hero could fail to answer its call. For who among us does not yearn for salvation?
And so we get our official introduction to the Crystarium. So now we get to check this place out. This is essentially our hub city. So let's go ahead and speak with the Exarch to complete the first quest. And here we are. Welcome, my friend, to the Crystarium. And with that, we get 460,000 experience points, 1,299 gil. We get the Shadowbringers Orchestrion roll, plus we get something that's different here for Shadowbringers. A weapon coffer, and this will subsequently also be done for armor and accessory coffers. Whatever warrior class you are on, when you open the chest, you will get a weapon, piece of armor, or accessory associated with it. So we'll go ahead and complete the quest. And since Dragoon is the only warrior class that Shinji has at experience level 70, that means we're gonna open this up and he will claim whatever is inside, and it'll be as a Dragoon. So he obtains a White Oak Partisan, high quality. They'll always be high quality, these particular weapons, armors, and accessories, just like they were in Heaven's Ward and in Stormblood. So now let's go ahead and seek with Crystal Exarch to take on his next level 70 main story quest entitled City of the First. The Crystal Exarch has a request for you. Now, a full and frank discussion in the privacy of my study would seem to be in order. But I think our conversation would be more meaningful were you to first gain a firmer grasp of the situation here. To that end, I would like you to visit a few of the Crystarium civic leaders and glean something of this world and its predicament. And so, how are we going to go about that? Well, we see something we see very familiar in other games, an aetheryte. As you can see, this path will take you directly to the aetheryte, a convenience with which I am sure you are only too familiar. Being the rightful object of my summoning spell, you should in theory be able to reach all the way back along your etheric trail and find a connection in the source, believe it or not. I strongly suggest you complete this attunement before venturing any further. Of course. Just like in any other city we've been to. After you have done so, walk up the steps next to the aetheryte and head out to the left to arrive in the crystalline mean. This is where you'll find our collector of crafters and gatherers, as well as their spokeswoman, Cutlass, one of the people I should like you to meet. Yeah, Cutlass? Are you sure it's not Katniss? I volunteer as tribute! Another is Morin. To reach him and his cabinet of curiosity, you'll want to avoid the aforementioned steps. Take the exit on the left and simply continue straight along and down until you come to the large door at the end of the path. And then, the third and final person I should like you to meet is Broggy, our man in charge of trade and distribution. He is to be found in the markets, which you can access from the opposite side of the Aetheroid Plaza. In seeking out each of my colleagues, you will visit the major districts of the city and hopefully gain a feel for the place. I trust my directions were simple enough. Yeah. Crystal clear. Although not always, because this place is actually quite confusing on where to go. Ah, very good. I concede the layout of the Crystarium owes more to historic necessity than planning, but I'm sure you'll learn its twists and turns before long. In all honesty, the true challenge may be in finding the right way to approach its citizens. As you discovered during your encounter with the captain, the people of this world are unaware of the existence of other stars, and will struggle to accept the truth of your origin. Yeah, that's not good. That being the case, when they ask whence you hail, as they inevitably will, I suggest you claim to share a homeland with the Crystal Exarch. There's an unspoken rule here about peering too deeply into that particular mystery. When you have finished making the rounds, pray meet me in the large courtyard at the center of town. Until then. And so away we shall go. Yeah, also, you're definitely going to be kept busy there for a while there, Isabel. But yeah, you have to get 5 through? You need to pace yourself a little. Don't push yourself too hard and just take it as it comes and do things when you need to do them. Don't do them right away. So now we have our first Aetheryte connection, so let's start meeting the people that the Exarch wants us to meet. Starting by going up the stairs and going to the left. And then once we make our way over there, we'll be able to speak with Cutlass. So yeah, here's where the initial merchants are. And somewhere around here we should find our first person of interest. Yeah, here's Cutlass. Nice to meet you, young lady. Well, of course, she's still a young girl. Rare to see a place so well stocked with goods, isn't it? But not here. Yeah, Candace would happen to be in Ellison. I guess going to guess you're new to our fair city? Well, for what it's worth, you've chosen a fine sanctuary. The Exarch can throw up a barrier if the Sun Eaters come knocking, so it's a damn sight safer in here than it is out there. Safer and more civilized too, thanks to us in the mean. We work together to procure materials and resources and craft the goods which make city life possible. This is the place to visit if you need a coat mended or a kettle forged. Just don't go thinking it'll all be handed to you on a plate like those Morin layabouts. Here in the Crystarium, we work for a living. Though I see you're no stranger to honest labor, you don't have that whiff of indolence about you like some folk I've met. Still, I can't quite pin down your profession. Where's it you're from? Well, we can tell you what the Exarch told us to say. One of the Exarch's countrymen, you say? I see. Well then, I'll work twice as hard to make you as feel welcome. Our city wouldn't even exist if it weren't for him, and any friend of his is a friend of ours. Yeah, what are we looking at? Probably the top of the tower. It's really quite incredible when you think about it. They say his grand magic summoned the Crystal Tower into existence. Pulled the entire thing out of thin air. It wasn't long before droves of refugees began congregating around its base, desperate for shelter after losing their homes to the flood. And that's how the Crystarium began. At the Exarch's invitation, buildings started going up, and with the help of some curious relics brought forth from the tower, the place gradually expanded into the thriving metropolis you see today. The city stood here for decades now, yet the eldest among us swear the Exarch looks exactly the same as he did back then. He is indeed a man of many mysteries, but for all his secrecy, he has never yet let us down. So if he and you wish to remain silent about your shared homeland, then the folk here will respect your wish for privacy. I am, however, more than a little curious to see any crafting talent you might be hiding. If you ought to contribute on that front, be sure to come back and visit once you've had a chance to settle in. Just ask for Cutlass and I'll find you a niche here in the crystalline mean. You can help us keep the cogs of the city greased and turning. So your exchange with Cutlass has taught you about life in the Crystarium. And to that end, we also want to attune to this Aethernet shard over here. So we'll go ahead and attune to it. Yeah, this is something we'll be doing for a while, so make sure you keep paying attention. Alright, so now that we've met with her, it's time for us to go back towards the Aetherite Plaza. And from there, we'll be moving on to the next destination that the Exarch wanted us to visit. So yeah, we're gonna jump over the edge like that guy just did. And then head down this way. Gonna take a long time to get 29 classes 80 to 80. Yeah, someone's apparently going for 100%. And so did I. I also am taking vacation time for this. I took this week off of work, but next week I have to go back to work. So, similar to Stormblood, I will be doing 3 streams a day from Tuesday through Sunday, and then on Monday we'll be going back to a regular stream schedule during the evening. So let's go ahead and attune to the Cabinet of Curiosities Aetherite. And then we'll go ahead and head up these stairs in order to find the person we want to speak to. So yeah, this is essentially a giant library. And here's where Moren is. As we have a look around. Excuse me, sir. Are you recently come to the city perchance? I'm quite familiar with our civic rules, you see, and, well... Yeah. Hello there, sir. And yes, that is the guy. What I mean to ask is, have you brought any books with you? A rumpled scroll even? A scrap of scribbled on parchment? I'm afraid I have not. My apologies. Literature is something of an obsession of mine as well as a profession. Librarian Moren, at your service, and this humble collection is known as the Cabinet of Curiosity. As your powers of perception have likely informed you, my colleagues and I are responsible for curating all manner of tomes, documents, and other vehicles for the written word. As the horrific as the loss of life and land wrought by the flood unquestionably was, the damage to recorded knowledge was no less catastrophic. We few do all we can to preserve what wisdom survived. But tell me, what brings you to the cabinet today? Looking for any title in particular? Mayhap a spot of academic research? Well, actually... Oh, so you've an interest in modern history. Splendid. A thorough review of recent events can often yield novel perspectives, I quite agree. If you prefer something visual to accompany the account, then I think I have an illustrated history book for you for children somewhere. Just a moment and I'll fetch it for you. Yeah, children? Yeah, this is a full-grown Aura you're talking to. Until sometime later. And here we are. Would you like to pull up a chair? Make yourself more comfortable. On with the lesson then. Yeah, he's got the book that he wanted to show us. But why is it for children? But anyway, time for an explanation. 100 years ago, or near enough not to matter, villains known as the Warriors of Light slew the Shadowkeeper, the Steward of Darkness. So the Warriors of Light are the bad guys here? That doesn't make much sense. In the wake of this tainted deed, light began to pour into the world as if from unseen cracks. It pooled and swelled without cease until the day an enormous blinding wave rose up and swept across our star. We called this calamity the Flood of Light. Everything it touched was leached of life and vigor, leaving naught behind but a luminous wasteland. Yeah, let's have a look at it. Yet just when it seemed that all would be lost, a savior appeared before us. The Oracle of Light. She stood twixt us and approaching doom, and by her power did she stay the flood. Thus was Novaura, and Novaura alone, spared the fate of erasure. And then what else happened? Tragedy would, however, arrive in another form. From the blasted emptiness descended hordes of strange and terrible aspect to bedevil the few folk who survived. These sin-eaters were light incarnate, and their fulgent presence stole the night from Novaura's sky. Even now they circle the remaining bastions of civilization, ever on the hunt for us, ever hungering for our flesh. Yeah, who'd have thought that something good could turn so bad? Too much of a good thing, maybe? And thus did the world become what it is. Should you ever wish to hear the tale again, I would be glad to retell it for you. Or if you would, I would rather speak of my other matters. That too would be my pleasure. I should be glad of the company. Your exchange with Morn has taught you about the Flood of Lights. And so now that we've gained that lesson, let's go ahead and drop down to the bottom. Warp back to the Aetheryte Plaza. And then continue south. So yeah, we want to go over this way. Arriving in the Rotunda and speaking with this guy named Bragi. And Bragi here is the first instance of what you will be playing as if you chose to do so, a Rothgar, a human-animal hybrid number 3 that has a lot more animal face on them than human. So let's go ahead and speak with Bragi and see what he has to say. So let's check this place out. You know, quite a few things to see here. New to the city, friend. The spinning head and wide eyes give you away. Yeah, well, hello there. Welcome. My name is Bragi and I'm the master of these markets. They gave the distinct another official title, but I'm not in the habit of using it. Too flawed by half. In any case, our merchants stock a range of equipment for drones such as yourself, so finding something in your size shouldn't be a problem. Drawn? Yeah, I'm sorry, did you say John? Or actually, I'm an Aura. Yeah, we should probably tell them what we actually are. Must be a dialect I'm not familiar with. Yeah, you want to point us in the direction of this group of people. Let's see if we can straighten this out. See those two in front of us? The shorter one is a Hume. And the taller one is an elf. That sturdy old individual over there is a Goliant, also known as a Rogadin. Whilst the one with the horns is a Dron like you. And then, here's something you wouldn't expect to see. And then you have the large scaly chaps with long tails and a knack for raising livestock. Those would be the Zune. But in Eorzea, we would know them as something else. The Amalja. So what is an Amalja equivalent like this doing in the city and living normally? Well, you'll just have to wait and find out with that one. But yeah, Nomikote? Or Lalafels? Which is apparently not the name you know them by. Now, I'm curious to know from which far-flung region you hail from. Yeah, Nomikote or Lalafel live here? Ah, the same as the Exarch, eh? Well, that explains it. You don't get much further flung than that. We've had a few of your lot pass through in recent years, and despite their obvious learning, they've floundered over the simplest things. But not to worry, should you find yourself confused by the local language or customs, I'll be here to answer your questions. Your exchange with Bragi has taught you about the peoples of the Firsts. But yeah, sad face, no cat love! Yeah, no cat love at all. Before we go anywhere though, we should probably attune over here. Yeah, they stuck the Aetherites for this place over here. So let's go ahead and attune to it. And then once we've done that, we can go ahead and go back to the Aetherite Plaza. And then once we've done that, let's go ahead and find where the Exarch is. Yeah, he's out in this wide open area called the Excedra. And there's also an Aetherite here too, so we're going to go ahead and attune to this first. So let's go ahead and attune at in front of the Dotsal Gate. And then come back to speak with the Exarch again. Well, how did you fare? Did my colleagues help you form a clear picture of this world and its people? Well, we were given all this information. Yes, it seems you are treated to a most thorough introduction. I understand it was something mature, but it was necessary that you grasp these things before we proceed. As for the Crystal Tower's origin, you may have noted that the details were sparse. The structure is in fact the self-same one you know from the source, transported to the first in its entirety. How? It was my first attempt at breaching the boundaries between worlds, something of a trial run for your eventual crossing, and although I do not know which era I tore it from, I do know that its arrival served to set the wheels of fate in motion. And thus we get another 460,000 experience points, 825 gil, plus a chest coffer. So we'll go ahead and open that up. Now, given that all my equipment is over at 400 right now, I am not in any hurry to put on this bright linen tabard of maiming, so we're gonna just give it off to the markets or something, and so we'll proceed to take on the Crystal Exarch's next quest in just a moment. Where are you? Yeah, so there we go. The intro to the Crystarium here in Shadowbringers, our hub area. But in case you're wondering, we can go back at any time to Eorzea. So yeah, I just want to check my audio here. Alright, there's the start point. Alright, we'll give that the opportunity to go ahead and save, and while it's doing that, I will make a quick run of the washroom and be right back. Alright, so while my audio file is saving, I'll explain to you guys what's been going on with my other characters. Corinne is who I've played on primarily with Twitch, but I also, or on Twitch during early access, but I also play as Mathia too. As it stands right now, Mathia is at level 74 and Corinne is at level 77. It's my intention to continue to show off Corinne's progress on Twitch, but I want to give myself a little more time to get other things done too, most notably, once I get video finished recording for each stream, I'm going to start putting up the episodes right away, just so that you can see everything, but I also want to try and make an intro for it too, because that's something I will need to be required to do. So yeah, now we have the Shadowbringers Orchestra on roll. Alright, just give this a little more time. Also, hey, welcome back there, Elizabeth. Glad to have you with us. Alright, looks like we're all good. Oh, hold on. Actually, this is perfect timing. Give me a moment, I'll be right back. Yeah, I thought someone knocking on the door. Hold on.
Just a minute.
Okay, yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I got a delivery in the mail, and for a moment, at the start, I was thinking, oh, it's my hard copy of Shadowbringers. The postman brought it. But then he hands me this cube box to me, and I was like, this is not Shadowbringers. Why would you put Shadowbringers in a cube box? So I had to open it up and see what it was, and it turns out it actually is my physical copy of Shadowbringers. Like, I don't get why they would put it in a cube box. That makes no sense. Well, at least they came in between me advancing the quest rather than me being in the middle of it, because that would just been embarrassing. But yeah, looks like we're all good to go again. Alright, so now it is time to move on to speak with the Crystal Exarch once again to take on his level 70 main story quest entitled Travelers of Norvrant. The Crystal Exarch is finally ready to discuss the matter of your comrades' whereabouts. You've done as I requested and learned something of the world in which you find yourself. Now it's time I fulfilled my half of the bargain and explained what has befallen your comrades. That is the conversation I would rather have in the privacy of my quarters, however. I must go on ahead to the tower and organize a few things, but I shall see that the guard knows to admit you. Yeah, the tower's gate lies open then? Or, just like that, then G'raha Tia is... Yeah, G'raha Tia is who we saw back in A Realm Reborn in the initial story of the Crystal Tower. But yeah, I doubt that if you did this... I doubt if you did the Crystal Tower in A Realm Reborn that you would get this option. Yeah, can you tell us about Grahatia? I'm not familiar with that name. Is this something I should know? Actually, quite a bit. An extraordinary tale, but I'm afraid I found no such individual residing in the tower when it passed into my care. Mayhap we can revisit that mystery for another time. For now, I think that it best we focus on the present. And so, away we go. Let's head upstairs and go into this place's version of the Crystal Tower. In we go. So yeah, you might recognize the floor from the end of Stormblood. That's where Corinne ended up. So yeah, let's check this place out. Alright then, out with it.
Welcome to the Ocular, my private study. We can speak here without fear of being overheard. I have much to explain, but the truths which I must touch upon in doing so would cause only distress and confusion to the people of this world. Pray keep that in mind.
Sounds like they're already having a hard enough time as it is.
Now, I am sure you are desperate to know the fate of your fellow Scions.
Uh-huh.
To put it simply, they are here in the First.
Well, we knew that, pretty much.
However, was not as recent as you may imagine. Here, time flows at a different pace from that of the Source.
Oh, great.
In the space of a single hour in your home world, an entire year might pass in the First, and the reverse could also be true. The pace fluctuates without rhyme or reason, and it cannot be predicted. That said, we seem to be entering a period of near equivalence. And thus, for the moment, you need not overly concern yourself with the passage of time.
I hope not.
As for your companions, however, Yustola and Urianger have dwelled here for 3 winters, all told, while Thancred's count stands at 5.
Yikes.
Even our more recent arrivals, Alphino and Alize, have lived in the First for almost a year.
And they don't seem to mind? Yeah, like, are the mental state okay?
My intention had been to summon only you, but the art of reaching across worlds has proven exceedingly difficult to master. Thus it was that my fumbling hand closed upon those to whom your fate is most closely bound as well.
Yeah, you definitely failed miserably to try and get only us. But like we said before, you should have just come to us over in our world and say, hey, we need your help.
As they were not the object of my summons, their transference was incomplete. Though they may appear to possess corporeal bodies, they are, in truth, merely spirits that one can see and touch.
Yeah, not a very comforting thought.
Consequently, while you yourself will be able to pass between worlds with relative freedom, they will not. Much as it grieves me, they are stranded here, unable to return.
Jerk. Yeah, we're not happy. Yeah, then find a way to send them back. Yeah, it's me you want, not them.
We spent every waking hour searching for a way to reverse the summoning. In the beginning, at least. As you may have surmised, however, our efforts met with little success. And then we all but abandoned the endeavor once Urianger shared with us the vision he had witnessed during his journey through the rift.
Oh, really? And what was that?
In that chaotic no-man's land between realms, time and space warp and blend in unexpected ways. What Urianger saw was the future. That which would one day come to pass.
And what did he see?
In his vision of tomorrow, the First was rejoined with the Source. This collision of worlds brought about the 8th umbral calamity and the deaths of countless multitudes.
Oh, great.
Amongst those who perished, Urianger clearly saw the fall of the Scion's mightiest champion. He watched you die.
Yeah, as if we haven't been shocked enough.
And thus did the Scions embrace their exile, and began searching this world for a means to forestall the coming catastrophe in yours. Their souls are stranded in the first, yes, but they have fought on, desperate to save their home and you from destruction.
So now I'm basically considered to be on a very thin line here.
Nor have their efforts been in vain, for it was they who finally established that the elimination of the Sin-Eaters will indeed serve to prevent the calamity. Considering these circumstances of our meeting, you would be forgiven for doubting my version of events. And so, before all else, I would suggest you track down your comrades and hear the tale from their lips. I shall of course be happy to assist in these reunions, and you need not make any decisions regarding your involvement until you are certain of where you stand.
Yeah, or where they stand for that matter.
Meanwhile, I promise I will not rest until I have found a way to help your friends return home. What say you? Have I earned your trust for the moment, at least?
Well, yeah, we're mulling this over for the moment. But I'll see you keep that promise, or for want of a better choice, I'll see you keep that promise, because you're still on very thin ice right now.
Excellent. You will not regret this. With that settled, we shall have to see about getting you ready for the road. Traveling across the rift has no doubt left you weary. I will arrange for a room where you might rest in comfort. While it's being prepared, perhaps I can show you around.
Oh, you want to show me around some more? Alright. Yeah. Elizabeth pretty much said it all right there. Elizabeth pretty much said it all right there. So now we have to seek the Exarch to continue on. The Crystarium boasts a number of residential districts, but I have been informed that a room has just become available at the Pendants. Which, as it turns out, is perfect. Our path there will take us past the markets, and I was hoping to give you my introduction to their wares. Come along. Yeah, Elizabeth trying to keep track on what's going on while she's working on giving people fancy hairstyles and whatnot over at the salon that she works at. Let's go ahead and tune the Aethernet shard. Oh, we already touched this one. Hi, Exarch. So yeah, he brings us here. But yeah, we've already been here before to meet with Broggy, but he wants to show us his own perspective, I guess.
This is the Musica Universalis, the commercial heart of the Crystarium. What you might need to prepare for your journeys can be purchased here.
Yeah, let's have a look at everything that they're selling. Yeah, we see food on the right and potions on the left.
Ah, yes. You must be curious about the currency.
Oh, yeah.
Fear not. The gil you carry will serve you well enough.
Well, good to know that gil is universal.
Each
yeah, look how shocked on
once
his
minted
face.
its own coins, but 'twas all a jumbled mess following the flood. After much debate, the local merchants eventually elected to revert to the old ways, wherein a coin's value was decided by the worth of its metal. As for a unit of measurement, we agreed upon the term gil, a word borrowed from coins uncovered within the Crystal Tower here.
Wow, didn't know there were any in there.
And as our traders peddled their wares across the land, so too did our usage of gil become common practice.
I mean, gil has been a thing since
From what
7.
your stola tells me, a standard coin from the source equates to exactly 1 gil here, or near enough not to matter. Our way of life has benefited greatly from the artifacts we recovered from the tower, some of which may be familiar to you.
Including tombstones. What? Yeah, why are we seeing tombstones? Yeah, the look of shock on Shinji's face says it all. And it's just like, ah, man.
But I fear it would not be practical for us to provide everything to which you are accustomed. You shall need a means to access the commodities of your homeworld.
Ah, yeah, retainers.
Avan Kerm Sin?
Yeah, and now the Exarch is speaking in a foreign language.
Yes, I'm here. Of course I'm here. What amusements do you have for me today?
Yeah. Yeah, it turns out we got a fairy. Fairy godparents!
My dear Feo Ul, paragon of pixie kind. For you, I have the most vital task.
And what will that be? Can you grant me wishes like Timmy Turner?
This fine gentleman is a friend from a distant realm. And we have need of a means to ferry things back and forth from his home. Might you be able to assist us in this matter?
Yeah, what can you do about that? Yeah, he wants to get a closer look.
You came from beyond, didn't you? From beyond the rift?
Indeed we did.
How wonderfully exciting! What a brave and reckless and marvelous thing you did! You've the heart of a pixie, you do. After careful consideration, I have decided to grant you my assistance. Make a pact with me and the fun can begin.
A pact,
but
huh?
Answer me this, traveler. Did your garments come with you when you crossed over? Your teeth? Your nails?
Yep, everything came intact. We have to think about this.
Just as I thought! Then you've a good stout connection with your home through which all your belongings, great and small, may easily pass. From this moment forth I will be your Isne Fis, and you my Snay Yak. Like the branch which sprouts from the sapling, our bond will flow unbroken from one to the other.
Yeah, maybe they should have put the words that he said next to the translations.
Raise your hand.
Are we taking an oath? Yeah, the Exarch's like, yeah, do it. Yeah. Ooh, shiny.
'Tis done. We are bound now, dearest sapling. Come then. Make your request. Tell me your desire. I wish to visit this world of yours.
You do?
Mayhap her message to your friends in the Source to inform them of your safe arrival.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Send a message to Taru or send a message to Trial. Well, Taru is the last person we saw. Let's tell her.
Consider it done.
And so off goes Feo Ul.
As you
Come
heard,
back in one piece.
That was Feo Ul of the Pixies. Their kind possess an affinity for magic akin to that of arcane beings. They rarely show themselves in populated areas, but Feo is insatiably curious even by Pixie standards, and seems to have taken a liking to the Crystarium.
I guess he likes shiny things?
Right. We were going to organize a room for you, weren't we? Come along.
Yes, please. Yeah, lead on there, Exarch. So as a result of your pact with Feo Ul, you'll now have access to Delivery Moogle's market boards and summoning bells while in the first. Actually, that was a boy. Yeah, looks like a girl, but that was actually a boy. Alright, let's reunite with the Exarch by going this way. And over here is our next Aetheryte. Right here in front of the pendants. And so, let's go ahead and speak with the Exarch. Yeah, he's standing in this throng of humanity. We can find him, alright. Ah, there you are. I was just finalizing the matter of your accommodation. You'll have a private room here in the Pendants for the duration of your stay to make use as you see fit. When you're ready to retire, the manager will show you to your lodgings. Pray rest and recuperate, and we shall reconvene at the Ocular anon. I believe that covers all the practical concerns. But yeah, what else is on Shinji's mind? Thank you for answering my call, Shinji. We are denied the comforting blanket of night, but may peaceful dreams attend you nonetheless. And away he goes. I'll speak with the manager of suites. A pleasure to meet you, sir, and welcome to your new home at the Pendants. Your room is ready if you'd care to retire. And in this instance, we actually have to do it in order to advance the plot. So yeah, let's check out our room. Certainly a lot more spacious than a hotel room over in Eorzea, for sure. But all the amenities are here. And even some extras. Yeah, let's have a look outside. Yeah, there's even a sea out here. Yeah, someone's trying to get our attention. Yeah, remember the shadow from earlier? Remember the specter from before? Well, it's a familiar face to those who played Heaven's Ward. The Warrior of Darkness.
I know you. You're the Warrior of Light from the Source.
Yeah, I just happen to have the gem that's been passed on from warrior to warrior. Yeah. And since Shinji's never met him before, and who are you? Yeah, this guy is not familiar to Shinji.
What? Did you just... You can hear me?
Yep, we can.
Oh, gods, how long has it been? And who are you, he says. Enemy not worth remembering, apparently.
Well, that's because Shinji doesn't.
My name is Ardbert. In the first, I was a warrior of light. But in the Source, you knew me as the Warrior of Darkness.
And now you appear to us as this.
Recall my tale. It was my comrades and I who caused the flood. We thought our home doomed. And so we listened to the Ascians.
Really?
Let them guide us to the Source. And tried to hasten their goddamned ardor.
Yeah. You aligned with the Ascians. Mistake number 1. This reminds me of a line that I saw in a Nintendo Capri Sun Pokemon Let's Play, where one of the villains sees an imminent disaster pending that they were actually trying to cause, but then they say, "Did I just make a mistake?" And Nintendo Capri Sun responds by saying, "Sir, you have made a few." And thus...
I remember when we fell, defeated by you and yours. I remember our audience with Minfilia. How she listened to our pleas and returned our souls to the First. The flood was poised to swallow Norvrant. Minfilia and my friends, they surrendered what little they had left to hold it back. Just faded away, leaving me to bear witness.
So that's why you're in front of us right now. Yeah, like, sad face.
Tell me, do you know the year? How much time has passed since we caused the flood?
Well, you're not gonna like it once I tell you. This is how long it's been.
100 years. 100 long years.
Yeah, time really flies through here, but the Exarch did say it was that way. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to... Nope. Yeah, you're just a ghost. You can't pick up things that are solid.
My hands find no purchase. My gestures catch no eye, and my pleas, be they whispered or screamed, reach not a single ear. I am a shade, cursed to do naught but drift.
Yeah, it's not been good for you.
I feel as if I've been walking forever. I hardly noticed when my mind and body began to fray at the edges. Then bang! My senses were sharp again. I felt like a fish being reeled in, and before I knew it, I found myself in this room. Why is it that you can see me? What are you even doing here, come to that?
You could ask the Exarch. Yeah, we're not here willingly. Yeah, we are not here of our own free will.
You were summoned to save the first. A waste of time. This world is beyond saving, like those who try to save it. Muddled as my mind may be, I've not forgotten that.
Well, maybe we can persuade you otherwise.
But if fate has brought me to you, the one person in this God's-forsaken world who can see and hear me, then perhaps there is a reason I endured. If I can find out why I was left behind, then maybe I can bring this journey of mine to an end. Well, I'll be watching, Warrior of Light. But do me a favor. Be careful out there. This world has had its fill of heroes.
Yeah, I can imagine that doing heroic deeds will only cause spite and hatred. And also hello to all the new viewers who are joining us this afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. Glad to have you here. Please make sure to help support the stream and the channel by leaving a like, subscribing if you haven't done so, and letting people know what's going on social media. We certainly encourage the support, and it's always greatly appreciated. So after some time to rest, let's go and take our business elsewhere. So now it's time to phase back in. So we have to go back over to the ocular, so that means going back over to the docile gates. And then we'll go ahead and reunite with Exarch. So up the stairs we go, back to the gatekeep. Okay, Exarch. Yeah, we had time to rest, now let's get down to business.
Ah, how did you find your new quarters? I trust you were able to rest?
Well, not right away. Yeah. Well enough, thank you, or I had a ghostly visitor. Yeah, we should probably tell him about the ghost. Yeah. Apparitions.
I was not aware the room was haunted, and you were rather tired. Well, should you receive another visitation, be sure to let me know. Now, let us return to the subject of the Scion's whereabouts.
Yes, please. So now we get a map of the land. And what it currently looks like.
This map shows the lands of Novaura, the only area to be spared the flood of light.
Yeah. And if you may have noticed all the white stuff around the perimeter, that's where the light currently stands as far as being solidified. And
the
so...
Crystarium is here, in the region known as Lakeland. To the north is the fairy kingdom of Il-Meg. That is where you'll find Urianger.
Where's everyone else?
To the east lies the once prosperous civilization of Rak-Tika. Your Stola is stationed there, in the heart of the forest.
And as for the twins?
Alas, neither location can be reached without considerable difficulty.
Yeah, in other words, wait until later.
As such, I would suggest you first seek out one of the twins, each of whom is stationed but a short flight from the Crystarium.
Where exactly?
Alphino is on Calusia, an island off the western shore. It is home to a city called Yulmore, where the rich and privileged while away their days in idleness.
Sounds like Ulda.
For his part in furthering our cause, Alphino journeyed there to meet with the citizenry and forge alliances. From what I hear, he has since kept himself busy gathering information around the main settlement.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
Alize, meanwhile, traveled south to the arid wastes of Armareng. They lie upon the very edge of the inhabitable world, where the flood of light was halted. Those who dwell there live in constant fear of attack by the Sin Eaters.
That's not good.
In contrast to her brother, Alize felt that her energies would better be spent learning about the enemy, and thus she sells her services as a guard, both to hone her skills and gather information on our foe.
Well, she never was a talker, as far as diplomacy is concerned. But at least now we know where they are, and they're all scattered pretty far away.
So, will it be Calicia or Armareng? It matters not which you choose to visit first. Simply inform me once you have made your decision, and I will see to it that you are provided with a suitable mount.
Alright.
Ah, but you must be wondering about Thancred.
Oh yeah, him too.
He has taken up with a new companion, and is presently engaged as a wandering hunter of Sin Eaters. Being ever on the move, his whereabouts are often difficult to ascertain, but I am certain your paths will cross ere long.
I hope so too. And so we get 460,000 experience points, 1,335 gil, plus a leg coffer. Oh, where's my... Oh, there it is. There's my cursor. Yeah, it's not easy to find my own cursor sometimes. Especially as it seems I'm losing my voice. For whatever reason. Which is not good for me. Because yeah, I've been doing this for pretty much 7 years now. Being on YouTube, and pretty much everything I do involves speaking in some way or another. So to find myself possibly losing my voice is not good. I'm gonna let that audio file render. Yeah, morning has now turned into afternoon, so... Alright. So yeah, once that's all rendered, all things... No, 7 years being on YouTube there, Adam. No, I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV for 5 years. I've been on YouTube for 7. Yeah, I'm just chilling out waiting for my audio file to render here. And once that's taken care of, we're gonna resume things. Alright. Audio file is rendered. And we're all ready to resume again. Okay, so when we talk with the Crystal Exarch again, he will give us the option of choosing to go on a quest to find one of the two twins. But we're not going to do that just yet. And there's a reason for that. Let's head back out of the ocular. So, yeah, you'll now see, once we have done the quest to get to that point to know where the scions are, there are now a whole set of quests that are available for us for side quests. This only happens once you have reached a certain part of the main story. So, as it stands right now, we're going to go ahead and take on all these side quests that have opened up, and we're going to see how many people we can give a hand to. So, let's go ahead and be on our way. Plus, it'll also give us an opportunity to check out more of the city. Because, yeah, we've only seen just a small part of it to this point. So let's go around the horn and begin taking side quests by speaking with Pitrig and taking on his quest entitled Rate and Review. Pitrig is eyeing your empty hand. Oh, you're the Crystal Exarch's guest, aren't you? Quick, take this. Ah, I got you. Now, I just need you to do this brief survey for me. It will only take a few moments of your time. Would you like to take a survey? Speak to the people on that list and then return here and tell me your thoughts on the current state of the Crystarium. Your cooperation is appreciated. So yeah, he wants us to go visit 4 different people scattered all over the place. So let's go ahead and find these 4 people. Yeah, starting with Rosard over here in the ballistics department. Hello there, sir. Good day, sir. What brings you here? Well, we need to tell you and ask you about this. A survey, is it? In that case, I shall gladly tell you about our facility. Here in ballistics, we store and maintain the weaponry used in the defense of the Crystarium. Before you see our pride and joy, the crystal cannons. Yeah, they use actual crystal energy for their ballistics. These truly inspiring pieces of artillery unleash blasts of pure aether drawn from the crystal itself. The destructive power they boast will even obliterate most sin eaters, if you can believe it. It's slightly unfortunate that that's so difficult to aim, I'll admit, but that's nothing that the addition of a few more cannons can't solve. Just try to dodge a dozen of different blasts coming in your general direction, you creepy bastards. That's the idea anyway. I suppose I should let you get on with turning the other facilities, but if you have any more questions, you know where to find me. Alright, so satisfied with speaking with him, let's head on upstairs. Now we have to go up a few staircases here. And once we do so, we can speak with this encumbered Amaro Tamer. Roped into one of Pittrig's surveys, were you? I'll try to keep this brief then, for both of our sakes. And anyway, you're likely already aware that Amaro, vital in the distribution and transport of goods, fleet and hardy as they are. They can't transport as much in one go as a chocobo-drawn carriage, of course. The time saved by the ability to fly more than makes up for that. There's no faster way to get something to the settlements and fortifications in Lakeland than by Amaro, that's for certain. You stand now in the primary area for loading goods for transport, and as you can see, the launch platform extends behind me. If you want the Amaro to carry you, rather than a parcel, that can be arranged here as well. You need only speak to the tamers at the counter. In fact, if you have not yet had the opportunity to ride an Amaro, I wholeheartedly recommend that you do so while here. It's more comfortable than it looks, owing to the softness of the coats. Take that as my parting advice to you. And so, yeah, you may have noticed, this is actually our first instance of finding a Mikote. Or in this case, they're known here in the first as Mistel. Which, quite honestly, I would have preferred if they called him Mistal with an A instead of an E. But either way, I prefer Mikote better. Mikote just sounds cuter. So let's go ahead and attune to this Aetheryte. Yeah, you'll see how much this is benefiting us. So now we head on over this way. So we now have Aetheryte net access to the Amaro launch. And then we'll run down over here. Yeah, that person with the red mark has, is the person who you can do crafting and gathering with. So we'll go ahead and drop down here. With some other things, we can attune to this Aetheryte. And so now we have attuned to all of the Aethernet shards here in the Crystarium. So now let's go ahead and speak with Zel Guanlu, who is one of this location's version of the Amalja. So let's go and speak with him.
This is Temenos Rookery, where we breed, raise, and train beasts of burden. You might have noticed that the staff is primarily Zun. That is because, as a formerly nomadic tribe, the Zun developed the majority of the techniques for Amaro husbandry that are still in practice today, and many of us are trained in them from an early age. I personally pride myself not only on knowledge of my trade, but also the ability to impart it to others. It is much easier to learn something than to teach it, but unless each of us makes the effort to do both, all our ancestors strove for will someday be lost to time.
And so we can come back to him for a side quest later. So we'll go ahead and attune, or rather touch the Aetheryte over here, and head back to the Cabinet of Curiosity to get the final person we need to speak to for this quest. And yeah, there's also someone else up here as well we can take a quest from. Yeah, we'll be seeing this a lot. So we want to speak with Shantilda. Oh, can I assist you in locating a particular volume? Actually, I need to talk to you about this. Pitrick sent you to learn of the Cabinet of Curiosity? Very well, I shall endeavor to grant you insight into its purpose. The many books that surround you have been collected from every corner of Novaura. Tomes of philosophy, history, art, but also fairy tales and personal memoirs. Any written work, regardless of its level of sophistication or monetary value, is a significant, if small, portion of our collective knowledge, and that knowledge as a whole is what the cabinet contains. Of course, there are others far more versed in the depths and breadth of the collection than I. Have you spoken with Moren? Yep, already did.
Excellent. Well, if you are ever interested in pursuing tomes pertaining to a particular subject, either he or I would be more than happy to assist you. And for our part, we will welcome the addition of any volumes that you may happen upon during your travels.
Alright, so with that done, let's go back to Pitrig. If we can find our way back out. So open the door and go back to where he was, near the Docile Gate. So let's go ahead and speak with him to complete the first side quest.
You returned, so tell me, how do you find the Crystarium thus far?
I'm impressed by its facilities or the facilities it houses. I think its people are remarkably conscientious. I'm neither satisfied nor dissatisfied. Let's make them happy, shall we?
As am I. They are the fruit of many years of laborious effort on the part of the citizenry. Here in the Crystarium, everyone contributes to bettering the city. One of my own roles, by the by, is to conduct research for the Settlement Council. We want our work to reflect community values and address outstanding areas of need, and the opinions of those who are newly come to the city are always valuable in that respect. On behalf of the Council, I thank you for taking the time to respond, and I assure you that your personal information will be kept strictly confidential. And so we'll get 230,000 experience points from him and 606 skill. And that's our first side quest is done. So where shall we go next? How about the Crystalline Mean, or even the Amaro Launch actually might be even better. But there's another quest I can do that's also right next door to it.
Yeah, so why don't we go over here and speak with this astute artisan and see what they have for us. With a quest entitled, A Fitting Challenge. The astute artisan is openly staring.
Pardon me for staring. I couldn't help but notice that you have the posture of one who has trained in martial techniques. Might I beg your assistance with a small matter? A friend of mine has recently joined the Guard, you see. I was hoping to put my skills to work in crafting her armor more durable than the standard issue fare, but she's already been stationed out in Lakeland. I have the measurements, of course, but I find myself unsure of which parts of the garment will need to be reinforced, and which will need to hang a bit loose for mobility's sake. Would you be willing to demonstrate a few common stances for me?
Alright.
In that case, could you begin by showing me your usual battle stance?
So yeah, we have to pose for her to move this along. Starting with our battle stance. Yeah, this is how Dragoons do it. Yeah, just don't get impaled.
I may need to add a bit more around the shoulders. Would you mind throwing a few punches as well, as if you were boxing?
And so we gotta speak to her while doing the boxing, which is under the special. Yeah, just like this.
I see. The entire torso needs to be able to twist, and the knuckle portion of the gloves could likely use a bit more padding. I believe I understand what alterations to make. You've been a great help, thank you. I must say that what you're wearing seems quite finely made, but if you ever do find yourself in need of new equipment, come and find me. I'd be happy to offer you a reduced rate on my custom work.
So yeah, a lot of these quests that you find along here are going to be rather brief, and they don't take much effort to do. So go ahead and open up the coffers on the legs, as well as the bracelet. Of course, as I said, since we're at level 70 already and already have better gear, we're not going to be using any of what you see in front of us. Alright. So now we want to... Actually, hold on. We want to go back to the other side. Yeah, we want to go over here. Because that's what the next quest was that we found. Yeah, we'll just drop down and find a lot of pain and suffering as we speak with Belfort here. Let's take on his quest entitled A Cry for Help. Belfort is looking for someone with time on their hands. You there, you look as if you could use something to occupy yourself with. I received this flyer soliciting help at Spygritrix, but I am far too busy with my own duties to contribute. It seemed a shame to not at least pass it on though. They do good work here, vital work. If you're interested in offering assistance, you'll find Spygritrix just southwest of here. Fei Han should be more than willing to explain the specific tasks that volunteering would entail. Alright, so we gotta go over this way. Yeah, Spygritrix or Spygritrix, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, is gonna be over here. And through this open door, we'll find Fei Han, who just happens to be Mikote. Hey there, Fei Han. You don't appear to have any gaping wounds. Are you here for a tincture, perhaps? If so, I'm afraid it will take some time to prepare. Well, we have this to give to you. You've come in answer to our plea for help? Oh, thank goodness. We don't have nearly enough manpower to keep up with the demand for poultices and restoratives at present, and I constantly feel as if I'm mere moments away from losing my wits from the stress of it. In fact, are you available to start right away? I am in urgent need of someone who might go to the Hortorium for some Dawn Faytail cuttings and nectar. If you're unsure of what those look like, never fear. Linnell will direct you to the correct plant. Alright, so Linnell is going to be over here. So her position is going to be right next to the crystalline mean. Very melodramatic for a quiet commencement theme. Well, I guess when you put it that way. Alright, so we want to go over... I just want to make sure I'm going the right way here. Because yeah, I do still get lost in this place. And I can already see that I'm not exactly in the right spot. Yeah, there are some places that are very confusing. Yeah, I probably have to use the curiosity. Yeah, in fact, this is where we need to be. Yeah, the Crystal Exarch did say that a lot of the design was considered impractical. So here's Linnell. Let's go ahead and speak with her.
Oh, a new assistant at Spagdrex saw you. And what can I help you with today?
Well, here's what we're here for.
Ah, Dawn Fatales. Naturally, those are the brightly colored, brush-like plants that you see. I recommend you take a cutting from the tallest one. We've been quite successful encouraging their growth of late, so you needn't worry about taking what you require. As for the nectar, you'll need to ask one of the researchers at the Cauldron for that. It's a bit too difficult for an amateur to extract. Since it seems that it's your first time encountering them, it may interest you to hear that the Dawn Fatale is one of the few plants to have survived from the time before the flood.
Which explains why they're so green, as opposed to all the other plants and trees out there that are so purple.
Then, they were kept solely for their beauty, which I agree is quite remarkable. In the time since the flood, however, we've experimented with various cultivars to intensify their healing properties, and they are now used in a variety of medicines.
I hope that gives you a bit of an appreciation for the sort of work done here, though I apologize for the digression. I'm sure you'll be wanting to be getting back to Spagdrex as soon as possible. Now we need to get the Dawn Fatale Nectar by going behind the fascinating bubbling pot and speaking with Rapt Researcher. Hey, can I ask you for something?
From Spagdrex, are you? One moment, please. This is a crucial moment for observing the results of this experiment.
Yeah, what are we looking at here? Oh, wow. The staff is moving.
There appears to be very little difference in how these fertilizer components interact, so it's a delicate balance. So perhaps our measurements were off, but we should also consider whether it's the temperature that's causing the problem.
Yeah, you can even see it boiling in there, too.
Oh well, Fatale Nectar was it? Here you are. Have care that you put it to good use.
And then, from the Dawn Fatale, yeah, got ourselves a cutting of that. And we can take it back where it needs to go. And so we'll be heading back on up. So we gotta make use of this Sathanet shard. Yeah, you see how closely those two were close, how close those two were together? Alright, so let's run on back over. And we'll give what Feihan requires to him. Yeah, there he is. Okay, that's a weird name. Also, I did not know that double dashes are now allowed in names.
Welcome back. Doubly so if you have what we need.
Here you go.
Perfect. I'm sure we'll be putting this to use right away. The patients haven't stopped coming, that's for certain. Our work can be grueling, I admit. It is for that reason that many who arrive with a mind to join our ranks find themselves quitting soon after. Thus are we so perpetually wanting for personnel. It's worth work doing though, and I was glad to have your help with it today. Thank you. And thus we'll take his experience. And Gil.
Alright, where shall we go next? Well, probably I want to go back over to the cabinet. If for no other reason than to take the quest that was located there. So we'll go ahead and do that one next. And so back into the cabinet, where Antibert is standing right at the bottom. So let's go ahead and take on his quest entitled From a Distance. Antibert has need of one with your particular qualifications.
Pardon me, might you be the Crystal Exarch's esteemed guest? I'd like to borrow your expertise if you've a moment to spare. I believe I can. That's a boy you see who... Oh, there's a boy you see who frequents the cabinet regularly. Like so many of his peers, he has never experienced the world outside the Crystarium, and so he comes here to catch glimpses of it in pages of time-worn books. I'm certain that what he truly desires is to learn of the living, breathing world, however. The world as it is today through the eyes of one who has seen it. Might you share your experience with him? I believe you'll find him just up the stairs. Alright, so let's go ahead and speak with a curious child. Here they are. Yeah, and this is an aura, just like Shinji is.
You're from far away? Then can you tell me what the world outside is like? Pretty please?
I believe we can tell you.
Oh, then can you tell me about the animals? Oh, a lot, right? Father says they're all dangerous though, is that true?
Most things are only dangerous if you make them mad. They're all dangerous and scary or say nothing. Yeah, only if you make them mad.
Really? Oh. What about what it looks like? Does the whole world look like Lakeland?
Pretty much trees, dirt, whatever. Some of it is more different than you can ever imagine or say nothing, but yeah, let's go with this one. Try and rally his spirits a little.
Oh, I think I understand. Then what about traveling? Mother says it's not worth it. There's nothing to see out there and it's too dangerous. But I want to go on adventures. What do you think?
It can be dangerous, but it's always worthwhile. Your mother's right, there's no point to it or say nothing. Well, considering how many adventures are Warriors of Light going on, yeah, we can tell you this.
I see.
So what's on your mind?
I'm sure now. I want to see the world. I'm going to study and practice martial arts. Then when I'm strong and clever, I'll go on an adventure.
Yeah, good to know we've boosted his confidence.
Thank you for letting me ask questions. And please tell Aunt the Bird that I'm going home. I have a lot of work to do. I wonder if Father will let me practice with his axe.
Yeah, he might have to go behind his back to do that. Alright, Aunt the Bear.
Yes, I saw him dash past, eyes twinkling. I do believe in the magic of the written word, how could I not? But it's not quite the same as meeting someone who has been there, who himself is part of the wider world. I never ventured far from the Crystarium myself, you see, so I know the wonder and fascination that comes from hearing the fireside tales of travelers. You have my personal gratitude and for sharing a bit of that with our young friend today.
So his quest is now finished. Alright, where shall we go now? Now I'm thinking we'll want to hit up the Temenos Rookery next. So let's make our way there. And find the person we need to speak to. Yeah, we spoke with Zhao Guanlu earlier, but now he has a quest for us, so let's go ahead and take it. This quest entitled, A Dirty Trick. Zhao Guanlu looks at you, and you look at him, and he looks at you, and you look at him. You probably should ask what he wants. Is this the Old Spice commercial?
That you have come here and gaze at me with such bright and eager eyes, it can only mean one thing. You, sir, are an aspiring breeder.
Like, no need to be embarrassed. It is perfectly natural to take an interest in the mating habits of livestock, but those secrets are not for the uninitiated, I'm afraid. You will need to start with the basics, and that means cleaning the stables. Yeah, so we've been pulled into it, more or less. Let's go ahead and deal with this sullied straw next to these chickens. We got that taken care of. Then we'll believe we want to go in here, I think. Oh, yep, there it is. Some half-chewed herbs. So we'll go ahead and help ourselves to those. And then one more thing to find.
Yeah, we can hear the animals. Yeah, which you don't often do. It's not something you often hear in Final Fantasy XIV, is the wildlife making noises, unless it's a monster that you have to put down. Yeah, there's the last thing we need, unsavory slime. Gotta pull it out of this trough. And then we'll speak with Zell again.
That's the spirit. Now take this pungent suck. It's for a strill over in Sweet Civ.
And Sweet Civ is going to be quite a bit of distance away. So yeah, I think we want to get there by using the main aetherite. Oh, wrong way. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna have to take the long way around, I think. Or maybe not. Actually, we kind of do. Because, yeah, you see how it's all designed, right? Yeah, there's this huge wall in the way. And I honestly don't know if we'll be able to access it from where we currently are. Or maybe we can if we go up these stairs. And then we can take a right. So yeah, see if we can go through the doors. Actually, oh yes, I can. All right. Yeah, I approve of that. In fact, we probably could have stayed on the ground. Could have stayed on the ground level to get to where Estril is. Yeah, it's gonna take me a while to remind myself of where everything is, because of course, this place, as weird as it is, you can be easily tricked into thinking what you need is in one place, but it's actually in another. Yeah, here she is. Alright, Estril.
Hello there. Has anyone ever told you that you smell of fertilizer?
That's quite a way to introduce yourself.
Ah, that explains that then. Thank you. Without this rich fertilizer such as this, we'd never be able to grow the quantity of vegetables that we do. I usually provide Zelguan Lu with produce in return. Would you mind taking it to him? Hopefully the bag isn't too heavy. It's full of root vegetables and the like for the animals, and they do eat quite a bit.
Alright, so yeah, probably faster to just go this way. Because yeah, there's actually the aetherite. Ah, such is trial and error. Jump over one fence, jump over another fence, and get over to Zell.
You're back.
And with something for you.
And you brought me vegetables. My, you are helplessly industrious, aren't you?
At this point, I should probably confess that I never actually mistook you for an aspiring breeder. I was joking. But to my complete shock, you did what I asked. So then I thought to myself, surely I'll catch on if I try to hand over a little sack of shite, but... The point is, I got carried away. I apologize. Please, take this as payment for your efforts. So, yeah, it was a dirty trick, wasn't it? Alright. So yeah, we can probably go back to the Universalis to take on the next quest. And if you're wondering about that blue icon, don't worry, we will be getting to it. Let's head to the markets. And once we arrive, we'll head over this way. And find the person we want to speak to. There they are. There's Darlfort. So, yeah, he'll have our next quest here, so let's go ahead and take on the quest entitled Pour One Out. Darfort seems troubled.
Good morning, sir. I'm terribly sorry to ask this of a patient, but could you perchance find the time to make a delivery for me? Just yesterday, you see, a customer, not a regular, I believe he's visiting from outside the Crystarium, came asking after a particularly strong spirit that we're known to serve. At the time, we had just run out, but I offered that our supplier would have more ready today. He told me that would be fine, but that he required it be delivered to his lodgings. Then he paid quite a handsome sum in advance, before consuming more than half a dozen pints of ale in short order and wandering off. Uh-oh. The whole experience was incredibly odd. I do, of course, fully intend to provide him with the alcohol that he paid for, but I also cannot help but be concerned by his behavior. It seems to me that someone ought to check on him. Alas, between brewing and serving the customers, I can't seem to find time to slip away. Could I impose upon you to deliver the liquor in my stead and inquire as to whether the man is quite well? Edith should have the alcohol in question ready at Musica Universalis, and as for our eccentric patron, you'll find him in the catenaries, assuming he gave you the correct information. Yes, we gotta get the potent liquor first. But yeah, it does really work that way because of how the map is laid out and how the design of the city is. Hello there, Edith.
Here on behalf of Darfort, I have the liquor right here. You'll be delivering this to a customer at the catenaries, right? In that case, you do well to speak with the manager there. He's a helpful sort, should make sure that it gets to the right person.
And that person is going to be over there. So we're going to head over this way. Yeah, through the Quadrivium, and then into the catenaries. Yeah, thankfully it's not that far of a walk. And here's the manager.
How much will be of service?
Well, give it to this man.
Ah, I see. That guest is somewhat indisposed, I'm afraid to say, but I will ensure that the liquor is delivered into his hands if you will entrust it to me.
Of course. Just make sure he doesn't get too intoxicated.
As to his condition, it does seem to be rather severe. His cries echoed through the corridors late into the evening. Judging by what I have glimpsed, I fear that it is a mere matter of time ere he turns.
Uh-oh.
But you need not concern yourself with that. Rest assured that we have matters well in hand here.
Hopefully he can save his life before he ODs on alcohol. Yeah, I don't want that kind of thing on my conscience.
So let's go ahead and speak with Darfort to complete this particular quest.
Yeah, I just hope that we are, like I said, not regretting this decision later.
Hey, Darfort. A matter of time before he turns, you say? I suppose that does explain it. It's hardly a wonder that he turned to drink. I'm sure you would agree. In the throes of such agony and despair, what is a man to do? I will know not if it will bring him solace but in the end, but nevertheless I thank you for making the delivery.
And so we get the 200,030 experience points, 679 gil, plus we obtained purple carrot juice, a hearty and healthful beverage prepared from the pulp of purple carrots and pixie apples. So yeah, this is a 2-stat item, but we'll be seeing 3-stat items later on. So how is everything? It looks like we have cleared out the Crystarium, all except for one thing. Yeah. Let's go find that guy with the blue icon. Yeah, we're gonna find him over at the Amaro launch, so let's make our way back there. And now let's go ahead and find this particular individual. We did this again. Yeah, it's actually closer to the rookery. Yeah, disregard what I just said. We still have to get to the guy, though. And that's not easy in of itself. So yeah, he's kind of above us right there. Yeah, it's so ridiculous, this map. Yeah, it'll just drive you nuts. Alright, so let's run outside. Now, where are you? There you are, Eleth. We finally found you, so now let's go and speak with him.
Hadamabitsina, you're not from around here, are you? A fellow wandering soul? An eternal inhabitant of the road? I thought so. Eleth's the name. My aspiration is to travel the whole wide world, though it is a fair bit smaller than it used to be, so as far as dreams go, it's a lot more realistic than you might think. But danger still lurks in every corner and around every bend. Even so, this sinner's got nerves of steel. He's a born explorer, Eleth! There's no land too distant or place too forbidden, aye. But what is that I spy poking out of your pack? A log, if I'm not mistaken. Give it over if you would.
And so... I thought so. A record of fantastic vistas and unforgettable sights. We're kindred spirits. A marrow of a feather. Excellent, excellent. 'Tis only right that I share with you such wondrous experiences as you have with me. A collection of amazing vistas I catalogue myself that I guarantee will rival the best you have ever seen. Novaura may be a shadow of its former glory, but there's still joy and excitement to be found if you know where to look, my friend. So I implore you, look! 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 But not like Gordon Ramsay, right? Follow in my footsteps, savor every moment of the journey, and then, when you feel you have discovered every secret this world must offer, start again. I promise you won't be disappointed. And so now, courtesy of Erleth, just like the Ironhearts from back over in Eorzea, we get a Shadowbringers version of the sightseeing log. So now we'll go ahead and drop back down to the more readily available Aetheryte. And then head on over back to the Docile Gate, and that is where we will proceed to close our first part of the stream. And then we'll come back later to do it all over again. Because yeah, we know where the next quest is, so with all the side quests now done in the Crystarium, it's time for us to return to the Ocular, and once there, we will proceed to get ready for what the Crystal Exarch wants us to do next, which is to see where we can find Alphanode and Alice. So, when I join you later this afternoon, we will indeed do exactly that. Hopefully YouTube gets its problems resolved and I can come back to you right as I go on the air, rather than having to wait for a number of minutes before I get the message that I'm officially on air. Let's hope they get that resolved, and I will see you guys later this afternoon for the continuation of Day 1 of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers Live. Thanks to everyone for watching, and until next time everyone, this is Matthew at Novaura Autism, saying take care, and I'll see you soon.